Hey guys, it's me, Dr. Jennifer Otter Bickerdike. Thank you so much for joining us for another edition of Inside the Music Industry. And I have to say, today's guest, I have been a massive fan of his since I was 12 or 13 years old when I first heard his band, the incredible Happy Mondays. It was the music of the Happy Mondays and other bands from the iconic Factory Records that really was a huge reason why I decided to first come and move to the UK in the first place. So when Shaun agreed to be on the podcast today and do a phone call, oh my goodness, it was like Christmas, New Year's, Halloween, birthdays, everything rolled into one. I absolutely adore the man. And I have to say, he proves to be even smarter, funnier, and just as witty as I could have hoped for. Well, the quality on this, I just want you guys to know, is not the best because I actually talked to Shaun on the phone, but it is so worth listening to. It's absolutely hilarious. We talk about UFOs, we talk about music, we talk about Manchester, so definitely check it out. So I hope you guys enjoy this phone interview with none other than Shaun William Ryder of the Happy Mondays and Black Grape, sometimes contributor with the Gorillas on Inside the Music Industry. The question I want to tell you first, Kate, I'm not going to ask you a serious question, but I have to ask you, why are people so against acknowledging that UFOs exist? This is a personal question for me.
UFOs, I don't know, really, because they're pretty damn stupid.
When you were on with Piers Morgan, I was like cracking up because you were just the physicist dude was like going off, and you were just like looking at him like you're full of it, and then you finished, and you were like, yeah, that made no sense.
I mean, and you know what? I found a lot of them, right? You know, sort of people like that guy that was on that show. They won't say it on camera, but when camera's not on, they'll tell you something completely different.
That does not surprise me at all. Why did you decide to? I'm just asking because I've always been into like UFOs, and I mean I'm like the laughing stock of all my friends because I'm like Bigfoot does exist. I don't really think he does, but I just like saying that to wind people up. Why did you decide though to publicly tell people about you seeing UFOs?
Because I thought basically I think they wanted me to tell people. Well, just because of what I've seen. I mean, I've not even spoke about half the stuff I've seen because it really did. The more you sort of say, I've not just seen that and then I've seen that, then people start really thinking you're talking bollocks. So I have to be really careful about telling really what I've seen.
I'll have to meet up with you sometime when we're not doing an interview. So I think the more you open yourself up to seeing that kind of stuff, the more you do. You know?
Definitely, definitely. You start tuning in like a transistor radio, getting on the frequency.
Yeah, it's so true. Okay, now I have to ask you school-related questions because I'll just go on my own little fandom track unless I shut myself down. Okay, when did you first know that you wanted to be a musician?
Ooh, I mean, I'd always loved music, you know, and you know, from being a little kid, I mean, you know, I grew up listening to all the sort of tunes through the 60s on wonderful Radio 1, you know, and there was a lot of music going on in our house. I don't know if you've ever seen the TV show, The Royal Family.
Yes, I'm strangely, my husband is very, like, patriotic and into, like, all things from, like, 60s and 70s, so I have seen it.
Jim Royal pulls out a banjo and he starts playing it and he just sat around watching TV, and that's very much what our house was like. You know, my dad had banjos and stuff, and, you know, and so it was always around, and you had, you know, sort of organs, keyboard things, so it was always around, but I never really thought about doing anything about it. I just liked music. And then really when I sort of, when I got to about 15, I saw 2 movies, That Was the Day in Stardust, about getting into the music business, and Jim McClane, this rock star played by David Essex. And at the time, it was pretty much like I was going down the route of crime. And I watched these movies and thought, yeah, I'm going to have a bit of that instead.
But Shaun, what's so weird about you, as someone that's been with your career since I was like 15 years old, and in America, you have that, like, very, like, when you were on I'm a Celebrity, I think I watched it, like, 5 times yesterday. I could not believe you, like, the snake is biting your hand, and you're just, like, seeing there taking it. Like, you have that hard man of the street thing, but then you also have this smart, thoughtful side to you. So which one's the real Shaun Ryder, or are they both Shaun
both,
Ryder?
both really. I'm really sort of, you know, a loving sort of really caring sort of dude, but, you know, as a young kid growing up where I grew up, you couldn't really be like that. You'd have to be a total cunt, you know, so, I had to sort of become a bit of a cunt to survive, but then, you know, I'm just a really nice, caring lad.
You sound like my husband, like me on the outside, but cuddly in the inside. What was your biggest career break, do you think? So if a 16 or 17-year-old kid is listening to this at BIMM, what would be your biggest career break, do you think?
Well, our biggest career break really was, you know, meeting Phil Sachs, who sold jeans in the Arndale Centre in Manchester, and he also had a market stall selling jeans. And, you know, we used to get our Levi's and stuff and all our sort of Dickies gear, cards and stuff from him. And he just happened to be an old, you know, proper music head. He was a DJ at the Twisted Wheel. And his best friends turned out to be Tony Wilson, Mike Pickering and Rob Gretton. So as soon as we got into Phil, and then we started the band and told him we was getting a band, and he got in, because, you know, we used to hang about on his stall as well, then he got sort of started managing us and then introduced us to all the factory stuff. I mean, you know, when we made our first record, we was nowhere near ready to get on vinyl. You know, we just really started learning to play. So it's that one, you know, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
So that's a good piece of advice then, actually, for kids as well, is the networking piece of it all.
Mm.
How important was creating like that organic scene in those early days? I mean, again, as an American, I would just, Tony Wilson is probably one of the few people that I wish I could have met. Like, I just worship him and the whole mythology about it. But, like, I was watching yesterday a video that he took at a Store Street in Piccadilly, Manchester rave. How much of that scene, like that organic scene, do you think was important to creating the fan base you still have today?
Well, yeah, I mean, it was well important. I mean, the most sort of important thing, and I hate saying this, but it's so true, it was the fucking ecstasy, you know, the E it's in Manchester, and really that's what changed everybody's idea of music and what nightclubbing was, you know, so that was really important.
I was just going to say, how do you think the mythology of Manchester compares to what actually happened? I mean, like some places like Thunderdome, like that nightclub, have been kind of like written out of Manchester history. Like, how do you think that movies like 24 Hour Party People, or like when you go to America and people have an idea of what that whole scene was like, is that how it actually was, do you think, or is it?
Well, 24 Hour Party People was, I thought it was a really good, funny movie. You know, it was caricatures of everything, really. It wasn't, you know, quite really how it was, you know what I mean? But it was sort of comic strip of it all. So, you know, it was a good, enjoyable film, but it wasn't dead real.
I think that's like where kind of the translation, because I remember watching that in the movie theater in San Francisco, being like, that's exactly how it is. You know what I mean? I think Americans miss the kind of humor part of it sometimes.
Mm.
Okay. 3 things you wish you could have told your younger self.
Oh, God. One of them, life's a lot easier without being on drugs all the fucking time. 2 is just to chill out and don't be so fucking hard on yourself. And I can't think of anything else.
So how is the role in the time you've been a public figure, how has the role of artists changed, do you think, in the last 2 decades?
Oh, well, now it's got back to sort of in a way of, I mean, it's like you look at that grime scene that's going on, which now really is the sort of, you know, the sort of white kids, where it used to be kids in bands and playing sort of guitar music that came from the street. Well, now it's the grime scene. I mean, that's took over. That's, you know, kids aren't playing guitars anymore, you know, but that's took over from it. So, you know, but, I mean, it's changed again where, you know, you got to be, you can't, you know, I don't think if a band came along now and it was just like us saying, well, you know, we're getting off our face and, you know, we just want to party all the time, that, you know, they're scared of the real thing. Sort of, you know, they want something that looks like the real thing, but then they don't want it, they just want something that looks like it. So it's hard for a band like us, you know, just being pure rock and roll to exist.
And all the extra things you have to do, like I was listening to the James O'Brien interview, and like you were saying, like you're on reality TV, you're doing all these things to get new audiences, but also to remind people. That's a lot of extra shit that you're having to do, to be honest.
Yeah, but I mean, that's gone down full circle, isn't it? You know, it's just like now the entertainment business again. You know, it's like Sammy and Frank. You know, you got to do TV shows and stuff, you know, and now we sort of go out and do lots. I mean, we do more shows, more gigs now than ever, you know, but, you know, now you get paid for that. You know, you used to do shows just to promote your albums and really didn't, you know, get anything from doing the gig. Now you get paid for doing a show, which is great. It's easy now for me. I find it all really easy now, you know. I mean, you know, being, as a young lad being off your tits and, I really did make it hard for myself. But now as a 56-year old, I'm a 55, 56, you know, I think, yeah, you know.
And you're not closing in on 60, mister. Like, I was listening to you say that on the James O'Brien thing. I'm like, if this motherfucker's closing in on 60, then what am I?
I mean, I've got 4 years and I'm 60. I get a bus pass and everything.
Oh, God, how does it happen? Okay,
I know it's shit, innit? I mean, it's great mentally, but, you know, physically, fucking hell, I just can't get used to having a body of a 56-year-old bloke.
No. Anyway, I know what you're working on right now, but just for the record, what are you working on right now? What's going on in the world of Shaun Ryder?
Well, at the moment, we're sort of just getting ready to start the Black Grape tour. You know, we finished the Mondays off doing the festivals, and now it's time to go out and promote the album that we made at the end of last year. So we're going to go and do that for a year or two.
And are you going to be doing the U.S. and Asia, do you think? Or are you going to get over there this time, or just Europe and the U.K.? Like, what do you
Yeah, I mean, I've just been asked about the States today. I mean, the thing about the States is, right, and I'm just too old to be going around doing the old rock thing now, you know, gig after gig after gig all over the place. And it's like go over there and not even earn any fucking dough, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, you can go out in the UK or Europe and you know, make more money in the fucking night than a whole tour over there. So it really is, I'm not coming over there to work myself shitless just for no dough.
No, I guess that's the reality.
Not at my age, you know what I mean? I've done it all before. I've done it since I was 18, and I just won't do it anymore.
There'll be a lot of disappointed people that the first Black Grape record, I was working at Universal, and I was so sad you guys didn't come, because I love that. I mean, I love all the Black Grape records. 3 more questions, I'll let you go. Proudest accomplishment working in music?
Oh, well, that's got to be my Ivan Novella Award.
What did that mean to you?
Well, it just sort of means, you know, I'm a sort of real musician. I mean, I've got it next to me, my Godlike Genius Award, you know, from the NME. But the Ivan Novella.
Where is it in the house?
Yeah, it's actually in the living room.
That's really cool. Biggest challenge that you faced in your career?
Oh God, being in the fucking music business.
I think that's all-encompassing thing. What is going to happen after the Black Grape record? Any Happy Mondays? Anything?
Well, you know what? It's been on and off, right, about whether we should be making another Mondays album or we shouldn't. You know, I mean, really, when we did that Black Grape album, it was going to be a Mondays album, and we couldn't get it together. And while it was all going on, should we or shouldn't we, me and Kermit nipped in and did that album in 4 weeks. You know,
oh my God!
I mean, and Black Grape's really easy because it's just me and Kermit. You know, with some of our great session guys. That's who it is. And the Mondays is like, you know, there's 6 people in it, and everyone gets a say, and it's a lot harder to get together. But also it's like, you know, we're still at odds on how we want to record things, you know. I mean, some members of the band want to go in like the old school and go in the studio for fucking months on end, and you know, and I want to just go in with a great producer, work and do it in fucking couple of weeks. But so we're talking about it again and thinking about producers, and a couple of names have come up, which is, you know, I'm sort of liking the sound of. So, you know, I think there will be another Mondays album. Yeah.
Are you still enjoying doing all this stuff that you're doing?
Oh, you enjoy it more than ever. More than ever. I really do.
So
it's like, my favourite thing used to be really, was going in the sort of our studio or our rehearsal rooms with, our gang of musicians and going there and just play for ourselves and, come up with new songs and stuff. And I really didn't want to take it out on the road. I was happy doing that, and it was like, but we've got to take it out and let, if we want to sort of make a living in it, so you can't just stay in your own space making tunes and getting stoned all day. I, like I say, prefer to do that.
I mean, that makes sense, like the different recording processes and like what you're going to do. Are you still finding things to write about?
Oh, yeah. Same old shit, really.
You're hilarious. Okay, so do an official sign-off. Thank you so much. I love you. You're wonderful. You're even nicer than I could have hoped for. I can't wait to hear everything new you've coming out, and I'll definitely go see Black Grape.
Great. Brilliant.
And thank you for being you. Seriously. Thank you, Shaun. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for checking out this exclusive YouTube episode of our podcast. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Hope you enjoyed the episode.